So one day back in 2018, when I got home from university, I literally sat down on my bed like a uni student and I just picked up my phone and started mindlessly scrolling social media after the boring and mindless day that I had at uni. Anyway, I was scrolling and I saw this post. I can't remember who posted it. It might have been someone like Gary Vee, but basically this post said, the most successful people in the world read an average of 50 books per year. You know, I thought to myself when I read that, I was like, I do want to be successful. I never believed that it was possible for me because, you know, you grow up, you get conditioned by society, you think, oh, I'm just destined for a normal job and all this stuff. And anyway, I hadn't read a book since Harry Potter in year 6, right? And at the time I was living with my dad, and so what I did is I went downstairs to his bookshelf and he has hundreds of books. And this one particular book stood out to me on the shelf, and it was called Positivity by a lady called Barbara Friedrichsen. And this book, I read it and it literally changed my whole perspective on what was possible for me just through positive thinking. And now I'm not someone who's this fully woo-woo person. I definitely believe in like spirituality and all that stuff, but at the same time, I really believe you have to put in the work. But there is a huge power behind positivity, and so that book blew my mind. I started applying it in my own life and it really started to produce great results. And from there, I got incredibly addicted to learning, right? I was reading 1, 2, sometimes even 3 books per week. I was just flooding my mind with knowledge to get to that next version of myself. And what kind of happened next for me was, I guess, the catalyst for the life that I've created now. It's funny because sometimes you switch off from doing things you did in the past that got you somewhere, and it's always good to have those reminders of those times where you had these cool experiences that you did something that seemed a little crazy at the time, but it actually panned out to be reality. So one of the things I started doing each day is I started meditating for like 30 minutes a day. I also started visualizing everything that I wanted, and then I started writing down exactly what I wanted in this little journal every single day. I wrote down 3 things I was grateful for, 3 goals, and 3 people that I wanted to send love to, right? I actually got that concept from Bob Proctor. But the point is, what I started to do was I started to create these things in my life. So one of the most key examples was, at the time, once I started to believe in myself, I wanted to pursue professional golf. And being a professional golfer is hard. I never believed I could until I started understanding these different thinking principles and frameworks. But I knew that playing professional golf, it's costly. It costs a lot of money. And I didn't want to have to be stuck working a job where I was location restricted. So I couldn't travel to a golf tournament because I had work. So what I did is I started writing down, I want to be able to make money from my laptop. Right? No certain amount, I just started writing that. And it was this day where I was sitting at home and I saw a Facebook ad and I was sitting there. The Facebook ad was for waiters for this company who do mobile events, and I saw the ad and the pay was really, it was like $50 an hour. And at the time I was, working in a bar making maybe like $25 an hour. And I was like, shit, this is awesome money. So I basically applied. The guy got back to me right away and he said, hey, can you come meet me on Friday at this cafe? So I went and met him at the cafe. He got a feel for my type of personality and he hired me right there on the spot and said, cool, can you do a job tomorrow? I had stuff on, but I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make it happen. And so what I did, when I did this job, I killed it. I did a great job at all the following events, and these guys saw I was ambitious. They saw I was actively learning, and they actually started an e-commerce business. And so they then did is approach me at the end of 2018 on Christmas or New Year's. Around that time, I was driving in the car home from Canberra to Melbourne, and anyway, I got the message saying like, do you want to do the sales and marketing for us this year? And me 12 months ago, I would have said no, but me at that time, I'd grown into the person that was ready to take on these challenges and get out of my comfort zone. And so what I essentially did is start running their whole entire business for them. And of course, I could do that remotely, right? So I just had to have my laptop or iPad and my phone, and I was just calling the leads, I was booking people in, just managing the whole business for them. And so that gave me this huge advantage in terms of being able to actually travel and play golf. But the point is, that was something I was writing down in my journal, and I was like, well, why don't I just start writing down that I want to make, $10,000 per month working remotely? Now, this didn't happen overnight, but, fast forward a certain period of time, things sort of fell out with this events company. It's a long story, which I might explain in another video. But basically, what I then did was I started an agency, right? So we do public relations, media, podcasting, social media. And I had one of my good friends sort of mentoring me on what to do. And he kind of said, do this for the next 30 days, right? Do this for the next 90 days. And so I just took his advice. Within the first 60 days, in my second month, I think I did $15,500 or $16,000 in cash collected, right? Which that then just changed my whole perspective. I remember it was probably around like the 20th of the month, 22nd of the month. I had that goal of hitting the 10K in mind, and I hit that 10K. And I remember being in the kitchen, right? My dad was there, my sister was actually up visiting, and I said, I've just made $10,000 this month. And they were both like, what the hell? Like, how? And obviously, for me now, we make a lot more money than that, but it was like, that was just so crazy to me. And so I kind of got obsessed with this, and then, you know, I wanted to get a new car, so I started writing down the car that I wanted, and I started visualizing it in the driveway every single day. And then I didn't know how I was going to get it. It was still quite unattainable at that point, but fast forward around like 8 months later, I actually bought myself that car for my birthday in cash, right? Which was a Mercedes GLA 220D. It was around $50,000. But yeah, I mean, that for me was just like the most powerful thing. And so the point of me creating this video is like, you might not be in a spot right now where you know what you want, right? Or you might not think you can get what you want, if I can phrase that better. And so what you need to start doing is getting incredibly crystal clear on what you want to create in your life. What does your life look like? Who are the people you're spending it with? What are the things you want? What's the car you want to drive? What's the apartment you want to be in? What's the office that you sit in every day going to look like, right? You want to start thinking and creating all these things, because your mind is a powerful tool that literally you give it a picture and it tries to create it, right? It finds things to support you there. And so I'm even shooting this right now as a reminder to myself, because I've gone away from doing a lot of these things, and you know, had I kept doing them, I probably could have created even more results than I have now. But just know this, your dream life is closer than you think. You are, you know, 12 to 24 months away, sometimes even sooner, than creating a life that you can literally do whatever you want. And so everyone wants different things. I'm not saying that, you know, you need to have $1 million or $10 million or $100 million to have your dream life, but just being able to do what you want to do each day, right? Not waking up on a Monday morning having to go into a shitty boss to get abused and then, you know, go to after work drinks. Like, who really wants that, right? Like, we're destined for more than that. And this isn't trying to be cringe or cliche, but it's like, it's dead serious. Like, you can create this stuff. You just have to know what you want. And living a life where you can just, you know, go and travel and, you know, pick up the golf clubs and go out on a Friday afternoon at, you know, a 5 minutes notice. These are the things that, you know, I believe make life incredibly enjoyable. And so if you're going through a hard time right now, if you're not sure what you want, just get crystal clear on what you want. Start thinking about it every day and start thinking, how can I get this? Don't think that you can't get it. If you can think, how can I get this? Your brain gets creative and starts to come up with solutions and ideas. So guys, I hope this story was valuable for you, and I hope you can go and execute this in your own life to start to create the life that you really want to create, because believe me, it's closer than you think. And if you got value from this, just starting to grow the channel, so please drop a like and subscribe. It would mean the world to me. If there's any way I can help, please just shoot me a DM on Instagram and I'll be sure to get back to you. Have an amazing day.